is KATU News at 11 on your side.
We just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be.
Another act of political violence raising concerns across the country as conservative activist Charlie Kirk is shot and killed during a rally in Utah. The suspect still at large tonight. Thanks a lot for joining us at 11, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn. Charlie Kirk, the co-founder of Turning Point USA, was invited by a student group to speak at the university. He was answering a question about transgender shootings and mass killings when he was shot in the neck. And today we're hearing from two people who attended the event describing the moments after the shooting.
I knew it was a gunshot tucked behind the corner, and then I saw all the crowd running as fast as I could, and I was worried about people trampling each other.
Just everyone had dropped down, and for a few moments they were just not moving. And people started getting up and moving, and the crowd started pushing me, and they pushed me so that I was basically backstage.
President Trump also expressing his grief, calling it a dark moment for the country, saying Kirk was loved and admired by all, especially him. The president ordering all American flags be flown at half-staff in Kirk's honor. And closer to home, Oregon's Democratic Governor Tina Kotek saying in part, the attack on Charlie Kirk is inexcusable. Violence has absolutely no place in our democracy. America is better than this. And Republican House Minority Leader Christine Drazen putting out a statement reading in part, the shocking assassination of Charlie Kirk should horrify every American who believes in free speech and public debate. Any extremist who has called for violent action against their political opponents should be ashamed of what they have brought on in our country. And Washington's Democratic Governor Bob Ferguson saying, quote, violence is never the answer. There is no place in our democracy for political violence. I condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk in the strongest terms. For the very latest involving the assassination of Charlie Kirk, be sure to visit our website and the KATU News app. It's free in your app store. Turning to another developing story, a student is dead after shooting two classmates before turning the gun on himself. That shooting happened at a Colorado high school about 30 miles southwest of Denver. More than 100 officers rushed to the scene and found the shooter within minutes. Both of the teens who were shot and injured were originally listed in critical condition. We're now learning one of them has non-life-threatening injuries. New at 11 now, a strike has been avoided at Roth's Fresh Market. Union leaders saying they've reached a tentative agreement with management. The deal includes wage increases, improved benefits, and what the union calls recognition of the vital role workers play in the community. Members will have the chance to review the offer and vote on it in the coming weeks. Union President Dan Clay thanked the community, saying its support helped secure that agreement. In Southwest Washington, the union strike continues as classes are once again canceled for Evergreen Public Schools. Students have been out of school for more than 2 weeks now as the district and union bargaining teams have been unable to reach an agreement on a new contract. All school buildings are closed, but the district is making breakfast and lunch for students each school day at 2 high schools. Middle and high school events and practices will also continue through that work stoppage. And moving to the La Center School District, school is also canceled tomorrow for students. District is sharing they have made steady progress toward an agreement with the Education Association, but more time is needed, they say. The superintendent says he's encouraged by the progress, remains hopeful they can reach an agreement soon. The district will send an update tomorrow evening on if classes are canceled again on Friday. And happening tomorrow, members of the Vancouver Association of Educational Support Professionals will vote on whether to authorize a strike if no new contract deal is reached with Vancouver Public Schools. The union, which represents more than 800 classified staff, has been negotiating with district leaders since April. Their last contract expired at the end of August, and while both sides have made progress, the union says key issues remain, including layoff protections, stipends for extra duties, and pay needed to attract and keep staff. If members vote to authorize a strike, union leaders will decide when that would begin. Residents in one Southwest Portland neighborhood are speaking out tonight, saying they're dealing with a massive and smelly waste problem and it's becoming a health and safety hazard. KATU's Jennifer Singh joins us live from Slavin Court this evening with why several residents say they've reached a breaking point and what's being done to address it. Jennifer?
Yeah, absolutely. So this behind me is the health and safety hazard. Community residents here at Slavin Court say they're dealing with and coming face to face with practically every day piles of garbage piling up and overflowing right in front of their doors. Now, neighbors say it's not just hard to look at, it's hard to live with. And they say they just want to make sure this situation doesn't fly under the radar.
When I come outside to get fresh air and there is garbage everywhere, it's just disturbing and it's just sad.
That's the general consensus for those living in and around Home Forward property Slavin Court, where garbage overflow has become the new normal. The impacts spreading beyond the dumpsters into the community playground and neighbors on the other side.
I would say it becomes a safety hazard to me because I have a 2-year-old and she's always playing on the playground and there's just a whole bunch of trash.
I have to have an exterminating company come out because the rats are coming from here.
According to Ian Davey with Home Forward, trash haulers come 3 days a week. However, he says they have seen community members outside of Slavin Court dropping off their own garbage in and around the bins. Neighbors also say when the garbage company does come, the job is often incomplete.
They only take the trash that's inside the dumpster. They don't take the trash that's around the dumpster.
In a statement to KATU, Davey said in part, quote, "It is frustrating that this has impacted our residents and the neighboring community." He says they have increased on-site presence by the property manager and maintenance staff. Some neighbors seeing that extra work, but saying it's become an all-hands-on-deck situation.
They do come out here and look and try their best to do what they can do. But, you know, we can only do what we can do. We can only do so much.
I feel like everybody has to be involved in this, to be able to keep it clean and feel somewhat safe.
And now I did reach out to Waste Management to see if I could get any additional details about pickup times and operations. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to receive any additional information from them. I also do want to note that Ian Davey with Home Forward emphasized that improper waste disposal is a chronic issue, he says, across Portland, and says unfortunately one of their properties is experiencing it right now. He says he encourages anyone with any concerns around one of their properties to reach out to them directly. Live in Southwest Portland tonight, Jennifer Singh, KATU News.
Jennifer, thank you for that. And we have an update to a story we brought you last week. Voters will soon decide on a public safety levy in Washington County. And if passed, homeowners will see a tax hike. KATU's on your side with what the county DA and sheriff are telling homeowners who say they can't afford any more taxes. Victor Park is live in Beaverton Cedar Hills area with more on this one. Victor?
Hey, good evening, Steve. Yeah, both the Washington County DA and its sheriff are urging voters to pass this levy. They say if not, critical services will go away. Washington County has become one of the most desired areas to live in. Since 1999, more than 200,000 people have moved here, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. And it continues to increase, north of 500,000. Welcoming over 10,000 new neighbors since 2023. It is why District Attorney Kevin Barton and Sheriff Caprice Macy are urging people to vote yes on a public safety levy.
And in order to keep our community safe, we need to make sure we have the adequate resources, and this levy is what allows us to do that.
Although most homeowners tell KATU they would support the levy, many others say they can't afford another tax hike.
That increase is critical to ensure that those who are doing the work can continue to respond to those 911 calls when people are in their most critical time of need.
Barton and Macy say if the levy fails, critical services could be cut.
For instance, our mental health response team and some of our detectives and our critical jail deputies providing court security in the courts and in our jail. Those services will go away because we will have to restrict how we provide those services specifically just toward our core functions.
Roughly 16% of our public safety budget is funded and dependent upon this levy. And so when we think about what would happen if we didn't have the levy, we have to think about how we would be able to manage without roughly about 16% of our personnel not here.
In the meantime, we have full details and a full breakdown of how much more this levy would cost homeowners and how long they would have to pay. That's on our website, KATU.com. November 4th is when voters will decide. We are live here in the Cedar Hills neighborhood of Beaverton. I'm Victor Park, KATU News.
Victor, thank you for that tonight. Let's talk about the weather. To do that, let's go to meteorologist Dave Selesky. We're turning a little on the dry side, aren't we, Dave?
Yeah, we had a couple days of some sprinkles around the area, and that's pretty much out of the picture for tomorrow as we get some higher pressure beginning to build in, at least on the west side of the Cascades. Now, here are the afternoon high temperatures, and they were trending a little cooler than average. We should be about 78, 79 degrees today. I hit 74 at PDX. It was 75 up in Vancouver. A little cooler on the east side. Cloud cover slower to burn off. So this afternoon, the high temperature in Estacada was at 69 degrees, 64 for Sandy, and that cloud cover burned off a little faster on the west side, so 77 for Beaverton, 78 Forest Grove, 77 McMinnville, and it was 78 down in Kaiser today. Now, radar, again, we had some showers primarily on the east side of the Cascades today. Here's the last 3 hours of that radar, and you can see some fairly heavy showers developing over the Baker City area down towards Burns. As a matter of fact, we'll bring in a look at rainfall amounts. Again, nothing for the Willamette Valley. Same story for most of Central Oregon, but out in Baker City, with those heavier showers, it picked up 1/1500ths of an inch of rain there in the last 24 hours. Dry skies right now from our live camera down at Stoller Estates outside of Dayton. Fair skies and currently 60 degrees the temperature there this hour. Up in the Gorge and Hood River, also clear skies and 63 on the thermometer. And coming up in about 10 minutes, Steve will have the forecast for you for all across the region. And of course, our 7-day forecast, and just see how long that dry weather may be sticking around. Back to you.
We'll see you in 10 minutes then, Dave. Thank you. And still to come on KATU News, turmoil in Tigard as the search for a new mayor is underway. Why a sudden resignation is raising questions there. And we create a lot of valuable content on KATU News. If you want to see it again or share it with friends, point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen. It'll take you right to the KATU News YouTube page.